All right, so let me explain this template of 10 classic D&B breaks, all chopped up, ready to go, because not everyone's got the same kind of thought process as me, so I'll show you what I've done and how to use it. Each break's organized from top to bottom. So you can see right at the top here, we've got Apache room, and then we've got a bus. So a bus is set up here, and you'll see that there's nothing on the channel, and they've got this icon there. I've kept them yellow and they've all got the same icon. And what that'll do, that'll bus everything together. So if we hold Option and highlight any one of those, it will highlight everything that I've put in that break. In the case of the Apache, it's the chopped up Apache break and these accents here. In the case of the skull break, you'll see it highlights the skull snaps and the skull room. Now for every single break, there is an original audio source, and each one is in with the break that it should be. So you can see Apache break is above Apache, Sesame, for example, is above the Blowfly Sesame Street, etc, etc. They're all in there, just hidden away because you don't necessarily need them. We've got those reference sources, but if you need just the raw break, they are there. And then some things like the pants break here, then the cleaner pants, have got this little drop down menu, and this is where when we open it up, if we press X now, we've got some extra things going on in some cases. So where are we? So you can see there's basically a bunch of high passes going on here on the cleaner pants, and those are on things like the hi-hats and the snare, where there's loads of residual low-end noise that we don't necessarily want. It cleans that up by having those samples go through some of those, and each one's actually set to the sample, and there'll be little bumps and things. They may look the same in here, but each one is done. So we've got like the hot pants break, and then we've got clean pants all triggered along there. Now they're not all done like that, they don't all need to be. I've just done it to the ones that were beneficial that you want to mix in. So this means we can do something like take the Apache break right here, we can play that back, and then we can take other parts, like if we were to go down to Think, for example. I've made one called Think Topper, which sits with just about everything. When we switch that on, we've automatically got that vibe straight away, right? We want to get rid of the Apache and just have the Think Topper, and then maybe use the raw version of the Amen. They're just in there and ready, laid in to go. And then obviously if we want to add everything that I've done to the Think break to make it a big full break, we can just take its bus, highlight that, and we've got the full break for it. But as well the individual parts. So if we wanted to use maybe the heavy kick but put it in with something else, or maybe just the chops, or just the topper with Funky P, we can do that. And it's all broken down into those individual parts like that. In terms of the effects on the tracks, I've kept it relatively minimal. It's a really busy track, but you'll see if I play back, my CPU doesn't really get touched. I do have an M2 with a whole load of threads, but like you can see there, it's a couple of percent because it's just running through compressors and EQs for the most part. If the channel doesn't need it, I've left it clean anyway. There's a couple of reverbs and things. They've been done on sends though, so it should be okay. It does take a lot of tracks. There's 151 tracks in here as it stands. What I would recommend doing though, if you want to take, say, the whole Think breakout, we can just solo it like this. You can do Command and B and you can bounce that entire breakout as it is. The other thing you can do if you want to keep key parts like Think chops right here, you can highlight this channel. As you can see here, it says Lynn Collins, but what we could then do is just right click over here and we could do Save Channel Strip As, and we could make our own instrument for that, and we could call it Think Chops. Boom. And then if we were to make a brand new instrument in any other project now, so we can just do new, we'll go software and empty channel strip for an example. So we've now got instrument 130 here. If we go over into our browser library now, into user channel strip settings, we've got Think Chops. That's going to apply the quick sampler there and all the chops ready, as well as the channel strip. Now the MIDI won't necessarily come over. Really simple way to get the MIDI. Open up the quick sampler here, right click in between any notes, copy MIDI pattern, go to the start your project and Control V and you'll get your MIDI there. So that's just going to be all the think parts chopped up there for you. Look. And then you can mix it up and make your pattern as you like. And that right there, guys, is pretty much it. There is one other thing. That is a limiter on the master, and that is there just in case you accidentally do what is on the screen right now, and that is play everything back at once to preserve your ears. The limit is just there to catch that scenario. But outside of that, it's all about mix and matching using the individual samples. You've got all of the patterns that I've built out, all of the like custom sounds as well. So like the drum synth that goes in the think break is there. It's completely configurable. You could save it if you wanted to as its own patch. Same with things like the hi-hats and all the other layers. Each one's been made to go with that particular break and build out. So we do get things like this, just ready to roll. So that's it, guys. I hope it's really useful for you. Any questions or anything you want me to add, throw it in the comments below, and I'll look to throw it in the comments below, and I'll have a look and see if it's something that can do. Because it's a template, I could very simply adjust it, re-upload it, and make it available for download again. So thank you very much for watching. Again, hope it's useful. Take care. See you in the full tutorial.